episode, we're looking at innovations in the energy sector.
And joining us today, we have Stu Innes and Dana Darwin from SolarShare and Aquarian. Stu, really interesting product you've got that's helping become an enabler for the industry, and very exciting opportunity for people who have solar panels or who don't have solar panels.
Yeah, exactly. We've built a product which we see as hoping to really change the way people buy their electricity in New Zealand and really fundamentally change that. And what we've done is enable people without solar panels to buy solar energy from those that do have solar panels and are maybe injecting that back to the grid. And that allows them, those people with panels, to obviously get a high buyback rate than they might be currently.
And so do they need to install anything new to receive this energy?
No, our system works for, most people have a smart meter these days, and we're
So you have to have a smart meter on
That's
your...
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so most people have a smart meter in their home these days, and our software integrates directly with that, and then we can match by every half hour in the day people who are using energy at the same time as people are injecting it into the grid.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Clever stuff.
So if I've got a solar panel on my house,
Yes.
and I know there are times during the day where I'm not using all the electricity, we're out at work or midday and the heat's, the sun's out at zenith, producing its most energy, that can potentially feed off to your...
Exactly right. Yeah. So currently, most people in that situation would be selling that power back to their power company, and they might be giving them a rate that's sort of maybe, it's not the best rate.
What is the rate? About 6 cents?
6 to 8 cents now.
A kilowatt hour.
That's correct. Yeah. So what we're able to do is pay up to 16 cents
Wow.
because on the other side we have people who specifically want to buy that energy, and really help, promote and incentivise people to put solar panels on the roof. So as a consumer of your home during the day and you're doing your laundry or washing your dishes or whatever, that energy that you're using there you can purchase that from those people.
So Dana, and your company has a great way of using that energy.
Yeah, it is. We do, Rachel. We've got, there's a lot of innovations actually in the space right now, energy space. It's quite exciting times. We've got, we've come to a place where the cost of energy itself has gotten quite expensive, and to where the manufacturing and the cost of producing the enablers, the solar panels and heat pump water heating, for example, have gotten to be very cost effective. So it's an exciting time. We're getting to a sort of a parity point where there's a very good financial case now that stacks up where it didn't just a few years ago. Yeah, so it's a great place to be at the moment.
It's incredible, isn't it, how the technology is allowing these new opportunities for both the consumer, and it's actually about consumer, isn't it? It's not actually about the overriding retailers it's the opportunities for the consumer to actually get a better deal.
Exactly, and what's taking place now is quite interesting. We've got sort of the big 5 power companies that are supplying, and if you look at that, they've got a centralized solution. They've got their mandate is to well, as we know, there's some issues around the ownership of those companies, public or not, which we won't get into at the moment. But it's interesting because now there's sort of a movement of the power towards the people now. It's becoming cost effective for the individuals now to actually make the investment, and with not having such a 20-year payback or something that's so far away that they just can't, just can't justify those investments. With the combination of heat pump water heating, for example, which is around 30% of your energy footprint in a home, can be as high as 50 or as low as 20. But being able to take that and basically enable that from solar power generation, these synergistic technologies right now are really exciting in what they deliver at the end of the day and save you money at the end of every month.
What happens in the winter months though, when the sun's not it's not as sunny, like today where it's raining?
Like right now, you wouldn't get much power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So how do you heat your systems or share your power then?
Yeah. So for us, we would be supplying the house through the same connection with power from traditional power stations from the grid. So in that case, like any retailer, and that's that's the same overnight. Obviously, we're certainly seeing a move towards, as Dana was saying, one of the new technologies is battery technologies, and that's certainly on the horizon over the next probably 12, 24, 36 months.
So interesting. So Dana's product, your Aquarian is effectively, you could argue, as a battery in its own right in terms of storing energy in the form of heat.
That's right, exactly. The Aquarian was actually a byproduct of looking for ways to find effective energy storage to get PV uptake in New Zealand.
Yeah.
We saw that solar water heating really wasn't going to work because of its lack of efficiency and its cost point. So when we were looking for really smart ways to store power to make PV the business case better, we ended up with the Aquarian. By default, we ended up with a standalone product that's, really, as I said, it stands alone by itself, but as a battery.
So the whole industry, great products, and there's a couple of things you talked about, selling our, I know it's a controversial issue, the selling assets, power companies to offshore companies, and yet there's a great little industry, you two as an example of innovators, pioneers, if you like, in this industry. That's taking a groundswell. Is that a fair call? Is that a bit of an exaggeration?
No, I think absolutely, and it's what we actually find really interesting in that is New Zealand was, over 100 years ago, we were innovators in the world in electricity. We had some of the first hydro schemes, the first sort of reticulated electricity down in Otago, sort of in the gold rush days.
Oh, yeah.
Power stations were built, lines were made, and towns got power, and we really led the world on that. And it's really cool now to be sort of saying, well, hey, we can do that again from a technology perspective. So there's certainly a new breed in the electricity retail space. There's a new breed of companies coming through who are using digital technologies, smart meters and mobile technologies and software platforms to really disrupt how retail electricity works and actually, without the incentives of needing to sell more power. So you could really compare our firm P2 to a software company in a lot of ways, more so than a company that is building power stations and trying to push power out onto consumers. We've actually got an incentive to make consumers more efficient with how they use electricity, really use those technologies to help them engage with how they're using it and learn about how they're using it and really kind of measure and show the benefits of more efficient solutions, whether that's hot water heat pumps or batteries or any of that sort of technology in the home. I think by getting people engaged in how they use their power, you can actually really start to make people see, but enlighten people to the benefits of some of these newer technologies.
Often it comes down to price, doesn't it? And so the people who've got the solar panels on their house are making good money from you selling it to you. What about the people who are buying it off you who haven't got the solar? Is that competitive with the power companies?
Yeah. So we've been able to through using a new technology platform and not having legacy systems, we're cheaper than most power companies in Auckland. So we're just available in the Auckland network at this stage on the Vector network. Yep. But comparatively, we're much cheaper than the big guys.
And Dana, for your water pumps, they've come down in price a huge amount, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, Rachel. We've been the ones really to take a stand and try and open the market up. What we saw was, what we didn't want to see was a repeat of what happened in the solar water heating space, where we found that for a variety of factors, the price point was just too high to actually ever make sense. The paybacks were 20 years or even never. The units would actually wear out before they actually delivered a return on investment. So what we did with our company is we were really keen to see that this type of technology was introduced into the market in such a way that it was going to be a sustainable platform for people. What I mean by that is we took the price point, we looked at the manufacturing costs, we took some very strong existing technologies and manufacturing processes that were already in place to build these units. We combined with companies such as Panasonic that provide the heat pump in the units, Electrolux, which had an existing manufacturing line, high quality, and we put a good liberal dose of TV number 8 engineering inside these units. And then came back to New Zealand with these, and we said, we can't justify an $8,000 or $10,000 or $12,000 price point for these, which was what the market was with the other units. So we came in at a fraction of that, and what we fear is fair value. But more importantly, it gives people almost like a no-brainer concept, where if you're building a new home now to put one of these in, you're getting a payback in sometimes less than 1 year.
Really?
It's extraordinary.
Jingoes.
We've got many testimonials to that.
Jingoes.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Incredible.
And what's really great about it too is that, as we mentioned before, when it acts like a battery, it really makes the business case for solar power as well. You know, combining those two technologies synergistically to where the Aquarian heat pump is actually acting like it's during the day to heat the water. You're kind of load shifting that power use that would normally be in the evening or in the early morning to where your PV is giving you free power for it.
Yep.
So in a sense, compared to 5 or 6 years ago when I would sell a solar thermal system, which is just a solar water heating system, I can now sell a solar PV system and a hot water heating system for about the same price, and it gives massive benefit compared to what it was for just solar water heating.
Yeah.
Dana, that's incredible. Stu, extraordinary innovations. Dana Darwin, evolutionary from Charles, somewhere in the family tree there, I believe. Good on you, mate. The evolution continues in the energy industry. It's amazing, and I'd just like to thank you for coming on board. The revolution of energy efficiency and actually just general green, it's all part of that deal. And thank you.